Hi, how are you today? I am so glad that you are taking the time to review this video and kind of get to know a little bit more about us. Um, we are obviously Beth Waterman Photography, and I say we because obviously if you met us at the bridal show or you've ever met us in person at all, you've probably noticed that we are actually a husband and wife photography team. That's actually one of the things that people quite enjoy when they book us, is that they are getting a team that is very familiar with each other, that is able to work very well together, and obviously a team that you know you can rely on. So we just kind of wanted to take a minute and give you a little bit of information about us. I know it is overwhelming when you are looking for a wedding photographer, and of course it is. This is one of the most overwhelming situations that you could ever face as an individual, period. Wedding planning is not an easy process, not by a long shot. It is an easy process. You are going to be faced with making so many decisions and so many choices, and you don't necessarily know if you're making the right choices until the big day arrives. So I'd like to start out by saying, first off, thank you. If you're considering us as your wedding photographer, just the fact that you are taking a moment to kind of get to know us is a huge deal. But we want to kind of get into some of the reasons as to why we feel that we are the right wedding photographer for you. And the first and probably the biggest reason is what I touched on before. Obviously we are, like I said, a husband and wife photography team. That separates us a little bit in the fact that I know with most photographers, you obviously do have the option of adding a second photographer to your package. It's pretty commonplace nowadays to have that option. So we highly encourage you, no matter if you book with us or you book with somebody else, that you book that second shooter. It doesn't seem like it would be a big deal, but I promise you a second photographer is going to deliver so many more images, so many more moments caught, that it really does make a huge impact, and it definitely makes it worth the time. I cannot encourage you enough to make sure that you have a second shooter in your chosen package. But what separates us just a little bit on our 2-shooter package is that oftentimes when you're dealing with a second shooter, they are there for a shorter span of time. They may not be there for your 8-hour wedding, for your 8-hour wedding. I always get nervous on video. For your 8-hour wedding, they may only be there for maybe 4 hours or 6 hours of that time. And that just depends on what your primary photographer has booked that second shooter for. And that's fine, and that is, great for a lot of other photographers. But for us at Beth Waterman Photography, you are getting 2 shooters for the entire day. So if you've booked an 8-hour package with us, you are getting 2 photographers for 8 hours. Another thing on that second shooter is that I have actually trained Rich, my husband, and second shooter. So you are getting 2 equivalent second shooters. Oftentimes, if somebody is a second shooter, and I say this very carefully because it's not always true. Even I myself have second shot for other photographers before. So sometimes you are getting a second shooter of a lesser caliber than your primary shooter. That doesn't happen with us. Rich, my husband, is an amazing second shooter. So you can definitely rest assured that as you review your images, you are not going to know who took what image, which is always a great thing. And then another benefit of us as 2 shooters are that I myself specialize in your portraits. And what I mean by portraits are, and I hate to say posed pictures because our style really isn't posed specifically, but I specialize more in the portrait side of wedding photography. Whereas Rich, my husband, specializes in documentary style. We often refer to him as the creepy guy in the corner because you never know that he is there, but yet he gets these amazing candid photos. And after this video, I am going to link a slideshow, and if you take a minute to review that, you will get to see some of the beautiful candid images he shot. So that's some of the reasons why our second shooter package is a little bit different. You truly are getting more bang for your buck when you book with us. And also, to add to that, all of our photography packages are 2 shooters. So the package pricing that you are reviewing will always include 2 photographers. So you do not need to worry about how that will affect the pricing. So that's wonderful. The second thing that makes us a little bit different, or I shouldn't say different, because honestly this should be done in any wedding photographer that you're looking at, is that we do carry backup equipment. We never arrive to a wedding without multiples of our cameras, multiples of our lenses, multiple batteries, multiple SD cards. You truly never know when something is going to happen, and we have had cameras go down mid-wedding several times. It happens all the time. This is technology. We're reliant upon technology, and we just want to make sure that you're covered from start to finish. So we will always arrive with backup equipment. Lighting wise, this is a great question for you to be asking all of your photographers that you're interviewing, is are they experienced with both on camera and off camera lighting? We here at Beth Waterman are very experienced in all lighting techniques. So we are familiar with the off-camera lighting that's required if you were in a little bit darker of a venue. And by off-camera lighting, what we mean is that we are bringing additional lighting to make sure that your images are well lit. We are also shooting with professional level cameras, which means we are able to get better pictures in low lighting. So you don't have to worry about that, especially if you're having a church wedding, a wedding in an older building where you're dealing with a lot of dark woods, not a whole lot of natural light. That is something that we are experienced with, which is great. That allows us to have a wider range of venues that we can work in. In all honesty, I feel comfortable with us as a team walking into any venue. So we are very, very comfortable with that. On the business side of things, we are a legit business. We are an LLC, we pay our taxes. We are not, politically correct term, I think I would say, we're not weekend warriors. This is my full-time job. Rich is still working full-time, unfortunately. We're trying to get that over with soon, but medical insurance is quite pricey, as I'm sure you're all used to. So as of right now, he is still working, but this is my full-time job. So that makes me a lot more available to my clients. I often encourage my clients, if you have a question at 2 o'clock in the morning, don't hesitate. Shoot me an email, shoot me a message, give me a call. There's a chance I'm probably up late working on editing images anyway, and I am more than happy to help you. And that does not need to be photography related. I've helped brides choose dresses. I've helped brides choose cake styles. I've helped them choose other vendors. I never want one of my clients to hesitate to ask me anything. I am more than willing to work with you on many, many, many factors, and we will be there for you every step of the way throughout the wedding to get that as easy as possible for you. So that's a little bit on the photography side. A couple of quick statistics that are very commonly asked that I always want to make sure that I have addressed. One thing I get asked quite often is, how many images do you deliver? Well, that truly is going to depend on your wedding day. If you have a lot of older guests or guests that aren't prone to be up dancing, you know, there's different situations that can affect your overall image count. And it's pretty hard to truly predict how many images you're going to get. But I can tell you that on average for an 8-hour wedding, we'll deliver anywhere from 800 to 1,300 images. It truly depends on how many candid images you have. There's a general rule or a general protocol that we follow on every wedding. So, you know, you've got your still shots, you've got your venue shots, you've got your flower shots, your dress shots, your posed images, your dinner images, things like that. But the true number is going to be affected by your wedding overall. So if your DJ is able to keep the party going, if people are dancing, if there's just lots of things for us to photograph, then obviously your number is going to go up. But I will say very quickly on that we do not limit your images. There is no cap on our pictures. So If you have a truly epic wedding, and I mean people are dancing, you know, the party's flowing, everybody's having a blast, and we are just taking picture, 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 it is not my decision to choose those images. Those are your pictures. That's what you've paid me for, and I want to make sure that you get those images. I don't know everybody who's at your wedding, obviously, and I cannot make the decision on who you think is important to have a picture of or not. So that is your decision 100%, and we want to encourage you to make those selections. So we might overwhelm you a little bit on images in the end, but truly when it comes to your wedding day, is there such a thing as having too many pictures? I really don't think so. So the other thing, how fast does it take to get my pictures back? This is an awesome question because there truly is no industry standard for this. I have seen photographers that take 6 months to deliver images. I've seen photographers take 2 days to deliver images. Me personally, I think 6 months is excessive. I think 3 months is excessive. I think 2 months is excessive. Now, my perspective on that might be a little bit different because this is my full-time job. So when I leave your wedding, when I get home that night from your wedding, the first thing that I am doing is beginning to pull your images off of my cards. I get them backed up. So I've got them backed up in 2 to 3 locations. We have actually a massive server here that we save all of our images on, as well as a computer, as well as an online gallery. So we make sure that we have backups of your images immediately when we arrive home. Within 24 hours, barring unforeseen circumstances, if we had, like we had a couple, and no, I can't actually use that as an excuse because we did come home and edit, but you know, a true family emergency or something along those lines. But we will have a teaser image or collection of 2 to 3 images for you within 24 hours. You're still in the spirit. Chances are you haven't left on a honeymoon yet, or you're getting ready to, and you want to see a couple pictures before you go. So we want to make sure we get something out to you right away. And then average turnaround time for me, even during my peak season, typically is 2 weeks. I am very, again, lucky that this is a full-time job for me. I am lucky that both my husband and myself are able to shoot pretty close to exactly as I want the images, so our editing time is not as intense. I just feel like when we got married, I didn't want to wait forever for my pictures, and we had our pictures pretty quickly as well, and I truly thought that that was awesome, and that is something that I strive for in my business, is to make sure that your images are turned around and being delivered right away. So those are the 2 primary questions that I get asked all the time. And if somebody doesn't ask me, I am certain to tell them that. So that's very important that you keep that in the back of your head as you're trying to make your decisions. How fast do you want your images? How many images do you want? You know, those are important things to be thinking about and asking other photographers. So I've kind of gone into a little bit about the weddings, and I'm doing this video kind of reversed because I know that a lot of people have questions about the wedding themselves, or the wedding photography itself, and not so much about getting to know the photographer as much. So I kind of filmed this video from back to finish, or finish to start. How's that? I'm having problems with the English language today, which happens when you're filming videos. But I thought it was important to get those facts and the statistics out right away, and then give you a second to kind of get to know me. So I have actually been a photographer since high school, which has been in the time of dinosaurs. No, truly, I'm not that old, but it feels that way sometimes. But a little over 20 years now in photography. My background started with automotive photography. So actually how I met my husband is that I was looking for some graphics work for the automotive magazine that I had created, which at the time was still all online. And we had the time, we kind of chatted, he was referred to me by somebody else, and you know, the rest is history. I didn't buy his graphic work because according to him he was too expensive, which isn't true. But in the end, I instead got one of the most amazing partners I could ever ask for. We are partners in business. We are partners in life. We are partners in raising our daughter. Everything we do is together. And some people may say, are you crazy? Why on earth would you want to spend so much time with your husband? Or why on earth would you want to spend so much time with your wife? So that's honestly, people look at us like we're crazy all the time on that part. But truly for us, it's amazing. I feel like we were destined to meet, we were destined to come together, and we were destined to build this business together. So I am truly blessed. We are blessed as a family that we've found each other, and we've been able to find a career that allows us the kind of life that we enjoy. And I will say that even as a male, he even truly enjoys wedding photography. He is amazing at it. We are both emotional. We both thoroughly love everything we do, and I think it shows through in the pictures that you're going to choose. Wedding photography is my life. You'll meet a lot of photographers that shoot families, they shoot kids, they shoot seniors, they do a little bit of everything in their photography, and that's awesome. But frankly, I don't enjoy the other styles of photography. I don't like to do family photography. I don't like to do children's photography. My love, my passion, my obsession is wedding photography. I think that it is the most important, and I'm probably biased, of course, but I think it's the most important decision you're going to make for your wedding. We're stuck together for 8 to 10 to 12 hours, you know, depending on a package that you've booked. And we need to have that relationship. We need to jive together. We need to get along. So I think personality is huge in this decision. And I think a lot of your vendors should be chosen on personality, or at least the ones that you're going to be working with. Obviously, venue, not so much. You want to choose the venue that fits the style of wedding that you're looking for. Dresses, food. Obviously, you want good food, good cake. Cake is huge. I really like cake. One of my favorite things about weddings is that I get to eat wedding cake. It's the best thing ever. But I just think that interpersonal relationship is extremely important. And I think that that comes because my background is a little bit different. I have not always been an artist. I was full-time customer service management and supervisory for almost 20 years. I come from a corporate background. I think that customer service is hugely important in this industry, and it is often forgotten. So I strive to make sure that my customers are fully taken care of, that they are feeling confident, happy, and without a doubt throughout their wedding and process. So I apologize, I have taken 18 minutes of your time, but this is hugely important for you to take the chance to get to know me, and sometimes we don't get that opportunity to get to know each other right off the bat. So this is just a quick way for us to do so, or not so quick way, depending on how you want to think about it. But thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. Check our website out, check our Facebook out, check our Instagram out, and really kind of take the time to get to know us overall. I feel like we are a little bit different than most other wedding photographers in the industry, in the world, and I think that that is one of our best assets. So I hope you decide to work with us. I promise you we are a lot of fun and we're very good at what we do, and we are very passionate about what we do. So I hope to work with you, and I greatly appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye.